This is the dumbest thing I've ever done. Oh well. So hey guys, today we're going to be ranking US states by their shape. So we're going to be doing this in tier list fashion, and I'll show you guys at the end of the video how the tier list looks. So yeah, let's get started. Also, we're going to be doing only 25 states. We'll do the other states in part 2. So yeah, without a further ado, I guess let's get started. First up, we have Delaware, the first state. I kind of don't like the straight border Delaware has, but I really do like the round border it has with Pennsylvania, and its river along the coastline, and the little Berry Bay area in the southern part. So definitely an A tier for me. A because of the straight border thing, but that's okay. Number 2, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a huge letdown. I really don't like the squarish line borders. I guess its border with New Jersey is alright, but Pennsylvania isn't really all that special. It's in C tier. It would be in D if it weren't for the border with New Jersey. Number 3, New Jersey. I did not expect for New Jersey to be all that good, but here we are. I really like how New Jersey looks. Not too complicated, and I really like the little peninsula it has in the southern part. And the straight line border doesn't bother me all that much. So yeah, New Jersey's an S tier. Not bad. Number 4, Georgia. Not gonna lie, Georgia's kinda boring. Again, I really don't like the straight line borders. But I guess everything else about Georgia is good. I mean, I kind of like the Atlantic border, the Georgia's border with the Atlantic Ocean. I think that's good, I guess. But other than that, Georgia's okay. I miss C tier, like right in the middle. Not bad, but not good. Number 5, Connecticut. You know what? Connecticut disappointed me quite a bit. Because, I mean, what's the deal with American states having these line square borders? Like, screw when the Europeans were drawing the African borders. What is this? What's up with all the lines? Everything in this red circle is what I don't like about Connecticut. Because, again, I just really don't like the squarish borders. I guess its shore is alright, but that's not enough. The little panhandle it's got going on over here helps it, but then again, it doesn't help it all that much. Connecticut's border with the Long Island Sound helps it a lot, but not that much. So yeah, Connecticut's D tier because it doesn't have anything to compensate for its square borders. So yeah. Number 6, Massachusetts. Massachusetts is a weird one because it's good but bad at the same time. The bad thing about it is, again, the squarish borders. But this part of Massachusetts is really good. Very super wow over the top extremely good. I like all the islands, the peninsulas. I really like the peninsula because I think peninsulas are cool. So yeah, that's what I meant by Massachusetts is good and bad. Because the squarish borders really mess it up. But the peninsula and islands balance it out. So it's in the middle. So C tier. Number 7, Maryland. There isn't much to talk about, but Maryland is good all around, like really good. Even the squarish line border doesn't bother me all that much. Maryland is just too good. So yeah, it gets S tier. Number 8, South Carolina. I'm not gonna lie, South Carolina surprised me because half the time I can't even remember what the U.S. shapes are, what the U.S. states shapes are. So it was kind of a reminder on how South Carolina looked. But in my opinion, South Carolina has a real interesting shape. So now, moving on to how South Carolina looks, nothing about South Carolina really bothers me, except for the line borders, but that's okay. Um, Other than that, it looks pretty good, I guess. South Carolina would be an S tier, but not really. Maybe an A tier. It would be maybe an A or S tier, but it's a B tier because of the straight line borders. But that's really all that's keeping it down. Number 9, New Hampshire. New Hampshire is just a reverse Delaware, but not as good as Delaware, so it gets one tier below Delaware, meaning that New Hampshire gets B tier. Number 9, Virginia. My favorite part of Virginia is the little the little piece of land it has in the Delmarva Peninsula. And I can only really say this for a couple of states, but Virginia is one of the states who make the straight line borders work. Those two factors alone are enough to earn Virginia in S tier. Number 11, New York. New York has a pretty solid shape. Really nothing that wrong with it. But then again, I really don't like the straight line borders it has down in the south. So I'll have to bump it down because of that. It would be S tier, but it's A tier. Also, real quick, fun fact. The circled in area in the north isn't actually straight. See guys, it isn't straight. Look, like there's a little bump over here. So yeah, it's not straight. Number 12, North Carolina. North Carolina is another one of those states that isn't particularly bad, but isn't good. It's in the middle, like some states. This circled in part of North Carolina I really like, because again, I really like the peninsulas and the islands. I also like the circled in border with Tennessee North Carolina has. Not too complicated, but not too boring. So yeah. Yeah, everything else about North Carolina though is boring. It has some good things and bad things. So like other states, it goes into C tier. Number 13, Rhode Island. Rhode Island is sadly D tier, and that kind of makes me sad because I thought it looked better than this. The only thing keeping Rhode Island out of E tier and below is the little islands and mini peninsulas it has, and you guys already know how I feel about those. But alas, Rhode Island isn't good enough to be in C tier. It has to be in D tier because of the squarish borders. Number 14, Vermont. Vermont is just an upside down New Hampshire. So it goes one tier below New Hampshire. So that means Vermont is in C tier. I just realized, if Vermont is an upside down New Hampshire and New Hampshire is just a reverse to Delaware, does that mean that Vermont is an upside down reverse Delaware? Number 15, Kentucky. Kentucky surprised me in a very weird way. Like Virginia, Kentucky makes the straight borders work somehow. Number 16, Tennessee. Tennessee is in a position a lot of other states are in, where they have some parts of their shape that are good, but some parts of them that are just bad or boring. I don't like Tennessee's north and south border. Um, I like Tennessee's west and east borders. They kind of all balance out. So C tier. Number 17, Ohio. Only in Ohio do you find borders that are surprisingly good, but the straight line borders kind of ruin it. Number 18, Louisiana. What in the ever living heck is going down there in Louisiana? They kind of look like neurons trying to attach to each other. I don't know what I just said. I don't know what that means, but like, why there's so many islands down there? Fun fact, actually, why does it exist? Fact, Louisiana has 467 islands. That's 457 islands too many. Never mind the squarish borders in the northwest. Again, I mean northeast. Again, I don't like. Wait, is it northwest or northeast? I can't even remember. That's how messed up Louisiana is. It's in D tier, not F tier because I don't know. I guess it didn't feel like it. But like, I just don't know what to say about Louisiana because it's just a complicated mess down here in the southeast. Everything else about Louisiana is fine, I guess, but like, what is going on down there? I don't like it. It kind of looks like I got blended in a blender, 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 in a blender. Like, what? Number 19, Indiana. Indiana kind of looks like a ghost. Part of Indiana is pretty good, I guess. Not very complicated. But you guys already know about the squarish border thing. So, but keeps Indiana down from A, maybe possibly C tier. So Indiana gets B tier. Number 20, Mississippi. Mississippi's border with the Mississippi River is kind of weird, but good, I guess. The only really good part about Mississippi is this little bootleg it has in the South. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about Mississippi. Mississippi is neither good or bad, kind of like a lot of states, so yeah, it goes into C tier. Number 21, Illinois. I really like how Illinois looks. Illinois is another one of those states who, even with the straight line borders, doesn't bother me at all. I don't see anything else wrong with Illinois. It's a pretty good A tier. 22, Alabama. Alabama is just a reversed Mississippi. So Alabama goes one tier below Mississippi. So that means Alabama goes into D tier. 23, Maine. Maine looks perfectly fine. And I guess is another state that makes the straight line border work, but not as well as Kentucky and Virginia did. Also, Maine has the perfect amount of islands, unlike Louisiana with its 467 islands. But that's besides the point. I think Maine looks fine, so A tier. 24, Missouri. Wow, Missouri sure is a misery. I'll never make that joke again. I don't know, I really don't know what to say about Missouri. The straight line borders bother me as usual. And everything else, it looks well, I guess. I like the bootleg. Yeah, C tier. Number 25, Arkansas. Everything else besides Arkansas's border with the Mississippi River is boring. Literally, it's just a square with a few rough edges. That is all. It gets D tier. So yeah, that was all 25 US states ranked by their shape. I'll do the other 25 in part 2. So this is how the tier list looks like. Hopefully it doesn't take me this long to make part 2, but yeah. So, yeah. I really don't know what to say. Oh well, have a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious day.